Whole Bible readers, this is it. This is week 52. And if you're looking carefully, and if you're on time, you'll realize this is a week with just one day in it, and we are finished with our program. Yeah, the way this is set up, we're actually finishing slightly early. So let's talk about what we're reading, which is Revelation. See, I almost said Genesis. Still kind of stuck in the past. Revelation chapters 21 and 22. Well, there's so much of this that is taken from Genesis. This is where we come to the end of Revelation and really the end of the great saga of the Bible. And we see that the end is like the beginning. We have images of Eden in this final section. We see the New Jerusalem, a city that has a wall, but it's got gates on every side for the 12 tribes, and all the gates are open all the time because it's always safe. There are no threats. There's a river that reminds us of the waters that flowed through Eden, reminds us of the Jordan River where Israel crossed into its promised land. There's a tree of life. Boy, that is definitely Eden, isn't it? And God is with his people. He is on his throne, and his people are with him and with the Lamb face to face. Life and light come from God. The sea, which previously was a threat, is now gone. Everything is pure. God is seen face to face. The leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. Probably my favorite line in this whole section. So the book ends with a reminder, all of this is going to come. Lord Jesus, come quickly. We need to remain faithful, knowing that Jesus is going to rescue and reward and vindicate his people and bring judgment on his people's enemies who are also his enemies. But the invitation to belong to his people is always there. He says, the bride says, come. This is it. We have the invitation. So let's consider now how the Bible has come together. At the beginning, God made his world a very good place. It isn't something that just happened to exist. It isn't something that malevolent gods created as a sort of a joke, both of these kind of common pagan ideas, which continue into our own time, but made deliberately as a very good place by God. Our rebellion, though, has put it on a different footing: disharmony, alienation, and death. But God promises to make that right through the seed of the woman, the seed of Abraham, the seed of David. So David's descendants become a nation who are oppressed and enslaved, but miraculously delivered by God, who defeats the evil empire, Egypt, and brings them into their land. But rarely are they faithful. Rarely do they worship their God truly and only. It's very, very hard, they find, to trust in God when they're surrounded by so many visible threats. Eventually, though he gives them kings, the kings are just as bad as the people, and they finally find themselves taken into exile, as is appropriate. God has put them in the land. If they disobey, he takes them out into foreign nations' control again. Well, into that world, God sends his true king. God the Son, who is himself in the world, incarnate as a human, who lives, who teaches, who suffers, who dies, and is raised by the Father, and ascends to be seated on God's throne at God's right hand. So the Son sends the Spirit to his people, who empowers them to show and tell the world that it has a new king to whom all the nations belong. These people struggle themselves. They struggle with hardship and persecution. They struggle with unfaithfulness. They struggle sometimes to understand what God has done for them. But they are promised that God will fully and finally rescue them, reward them, and vindicate them. And so they are called to remain faithful. God is making the world new again. The Creator is also the Recreator. This is the wonderful symmetry and beauty of this story. This is what makes this so logically and humanely coherent, to think that God is the author of life, and so he gives new life. God is the God of grace, and so he gives even to those who don't deserve it. All right. Let me just ask you some questions, and I'd love to hear your answers. So, you can respond to the email that we've included all along the way, and let us know, what did you receive in pursuing this program? What difference has it made for you? And if you're thinking, I want to keep reading, well, look for suggestions that'll be included in the email that accompanies this this video. All right, I've really enjoyed making these videos. I hope that you have enjoyed listening. I hope that you'll continue to use the resources of the Bible Project as you go as well. I certainly do. All right, happy reading.